Today on So What? Does using ChatGPT and generative AI help or harm our students' problem-solving skills? While the tool may be able to provide quick and easy answers to questions, it does not build critical thinking and problem-solving skills. That's how the New York City Department of Education saw it back in January. Other school leaders agreed.
I'm a big proponent of thinking. Anytime you have anything that takes the thinking away from an individual, I think could cause some serious harm. So if it's not talked about, kids are going to utilize it to do the thinking for them.
That was Mike Janitovich, a high school principal in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Allison Apsey has been a principal for all levels K-12, and she echoes Mike's concerns about ChatGPT.
And it's scary at first because as educators, we want great things for our students. When we ask them to summarize a text or write us a research paper, this concept that they could put it into this AI technology and get a C grade at the graduate student level is really frightening.
So what? Well, apparently, the rumors that ChatGPT will cause the demise of students' problem-solving skills have been greatly exaggerated. Professor John Nash is the director of the Laboratory on Design Thinking at the University of Kentucky.
We use a phrase in this class. We say the problem is not the problem. What it means is that the first idea that you're presented from a partner in most any kind of design challenge seems like an important thing, an important problem, and the problem. But then you discover all the other parts as you pull on these strings. You find out that that's not really the problem.
Nash teaches his students how to develop more effective solutions by asking more relevant questions that drill down to the real problem. And where do his students get those deeply penetrating questions? You guessed it, ChatGPT. Nash tells his students to start their projects by asking ChatGPT for lists of relevant questions related to the problem they're trying to wrestle to the ground. Nash says his students' success with problem solving shows just how AI can help us become better problem solvers, not worse. And his view is starting to catch on. Just Google AI brainstorming and you'll see what I mean. You do remember Google, right? Now what? Well, if you've been seeing generative AI as the grim reaper of problem-solving skills, you might want to take a second look. Since most of us are discovering that generative AI may be your misunderstood creative partner that can help you identify problems, brainstorm new ideas, and think out of the box. Next up, how so many educators moved from feeling panicked to feeling empowered by ChatGPT, seemingly overnight. Panic makes us do strange things, like scream on a plane at the slightest hint of turbulence, hoard toilet paper during the pandemic, though there was no shortage, or ban ChatGPT from schools before we really even understood it. So what? Well, the panic over ChatGPT was predictable and understandable, but no one could predict how quickly many educators would move from feeling panic to feeling empowered by ChatGPT. So how did we evolve from seeing generative AI as a threat to seeing it as an opportunity in such a short time? Well, we don't know all the factors, but Professor Harry Denny, director of the Writing Lab at Purdue University, pointed to one that has clearly moved the needle.
People are going to be very anxious as this technology rolls out. In the liberal arts, it's generating a lot of conversations about whether this poses a threat or an opportunity for teaching and learning, particularly around writing.
Yes, ChatGPT definitely generated a lot of discussions about the threats and opportunities of generative AI. We participated in over 40 and heard those conversations evolve right before our ears. So we thought, could we quickly demonstrate that evolution with a short series of audio clips from these past 4 months? Well, we decided to give it a try and give the project one of those impressive academic titles, The Early History of ChatGPT in Education, from Panic to Empowerment in Less Than 2 Minutes. Ready? Start your timer and see if you could spot the different stages.
It's scary. It's a lot of change of pace. There's concerns about plagiarism. And if you've been following the New York Times piece that Kevin Roos about talking to the beta version, that'll scare you. That'll keep you up at night if you want to read that transcript.
So I'm curious, as that educational leader, your language arts teacher comes up to you and she's like, you wouldn't believe this, they're all using it for the last essay. I am going to ban all Chromebooks, no tech devices, smartphones, watches. I'm going to completely clear out the classroom. How might you help facilitate that conversation?
So ChatGPT, the type of information you can get from this does infringe upon the ways that we traditionally do education. So the problems and the friction occur when we still kind of follow that traditional style of education, and we're asking students to complete work that now a machine can do, essentially.
So I propose we take this as an opportunity to engage in truly a genuine inquiry by educators and students. So let's collectively explore questions like, what exactly can these AI systems do? In other words, this is a unique opportunity. We talk about building student inquiry skills. This is a perfect time to engage in such an inquiry.
I get that, but policymaking is a hammer. It's very kind of black and white sometimes. It's hard to create policies that allow room for space for that risk and learning. And you have these different perspectives. You have safety and you have creativity and learning pushing up against each other.
Okay, well, I have a little bit of a different take on the ChatGPT. My verdict is in, and I absolutely love it. And I tell people, I'm like, it's not going anywhere, so we better learn how to use it, because the kids are definitely using it. They are aware of it. And as Mike said, if we don't know about it, then how can we guide kids to use it in ethical ways?
Really, I think what we're all agreeing to in this conversation is this is a powerful tool that is only going to get more powerful. And the best gift we can give students is to help them understand the benefits, potential, the drawbacks of using a tool like this responsibly.
And that's how we went from ChatGPT is scary to generative AI is a powerful teaching tool if we use it responsibly. It took a little longer than 2 minutes, but hopefully we shaved a few months off your learning curve. I'm Jim Brower.
BRN, where educators share what works.